Hello everyone, thanks very much for joining us. I'm Philip Duncan. We're tracking a spring blast coming in towards New Zealand and also a hurricane, another one, coming towards America. We've got the latest on Michael. Let's get into the wind map for New Zealand though, and you can see high pressure pretty much dominates the whole country at the moment. Light winds in many areas, fairly pleasant conditions, but this is on the way. This is the new southerly. It's going to arrive around Wednesday in the South Island and then goes nationwide on Friday and Saturday before fading out. So this is how it looks as we go towards lunchtime Wednesday. In comes that cold southerly, and that will produce snow in the mountains and heavy rain on the west coast. In fact, the rainfall totals could be well over 150 millimetres over the next few days on the western side. And then north of about Otago, you're in warm nor'westers. So while they've got the cold southerly arriving in Southland and Otago around Wednesday, parts of Canterbury will be up around 20 degrees. And further north, same story around the eastern and northern parts of the North Island, but it is windy. Those nor'westers come through Cook Strait. To Thursday, the low develops around the western side of New Zealand, and temporarily it stops the southerly and it also breaks apart the nor'wester. So the clouds build up and there'll be a little bit of spillover now into Canterbury, and Canterbury's got a cool down coming. The rain moves further up the western side, and this low is going to move across the North Island, which we'll show you now on Friday. So on Friday, the low pressure system stretches out and in comes the southerly between the high and the low. And this is the coldest day of the week for the South Island, Friday is. As that southerly comes in, snow falls around places like Queenstown and Wanaka, maybe even to a couple of hundred metres around Dunedin, but it's not likely to settle below that. The soil temperatures are quite high at the moment, and the air temperatures, even despite this, will still be in the late single digits in many areas, but it's definitely a colder, more wintry day. And then on Saturday, that's the coldest day of the week for the North Island. In comes the southerly, turns southeast. That means it becomes sunny in many western areas, so it may not feel quite so bad. And the good news is in the South Island, things do start to ease back. And by Sunday, we're still stuck on the sou'westers, but most of the wet stuff is out to the east. Coldest weather will be in the east as well. But this is an enormous high, and this is coming in not only for Sunday, but it's going to sit out in the Tasman for perhaps over a week. So get used to seeing that. Let's head overseas now, and we have got Hurricane Michael. It is currently affecting Cuba, and it is likely to make landfall in Florida towards the end of the week. And latest data shows that it could get up to a category 3, which is pretty major. So this is how the computer models are predicting it. This is what they call the spaghetti models for obvious reasons. So all the different computer models, different organizations around the world, we don't just use one, we use multiple sources. And this shows where the likely tracking of Michael is going to go over the next few days. Now we do have a little bit of good news. Even though it's likely to reach severe category 3, the positive is that it's likely to speed up once it gets past, or once it's made landfall, and that's a positive. As far as rainfall totals, it won't be like the recent storm that just hit. So we do have a little bit of good news in there that it's likely to zip through quite quickly, but this is going to be a major storm for Florida Panhandle, probably around Friday of this week. That is all from me. We'll update you again on Wednesday with the latest.